Hey everybody, Daniel Fusco here. Welcome to today's 2-minute message. Oftentimes you hear people use this language and it makes some people really uncomfortable that God spoke to me, or this is what God has said, or God speaks. And people are like, well, what does that mean and how does that work? Now there's a couple things. First, if God is real and he is, then God can speak and he does. Now, when we think of speech, we always think of it's audible, but God can speak through anything. Actually, in the Bible, it tells us that all of creation declares God's his eternal power and his godhoodness, his attributes. It's all around. So God can use anything to speak to us. But if God is a person, and he is, then God has the ability to communicate with his creation. And so God does speak, and I believe that God is speaking to all of us in a million different ways right now. But you might say, well, so how do we know what God is actually saying? Well, that's also why God has given us the scriptures, the Bible. Because the Bible is God's letter to us. Now, of course, it was written by human authors, but the Bible teaches that they were inspired by the Spirit of God. So it's God-breathed, human-penned under the inspiration of the Spirit. And we can hem in what we believe God's speaking to us based on the Bible. That is why I love the fact that God has given us the scriptures. Now, I realize the scriptures, and we can talk about this at another time, that the scriptures are challenging, and there's a lot in there, and some of it's not easy to understand, and some of it even seems contradictory. But God has given us his heart in a book to be able to make sure that the things we believe he's speaking to us is not just our thoughts or just our emotions or because we ate some bad chili, but it's truly the true and living God leading us and guiding us into a life of holiness, a life of love, and a life that brings blessing to the world. God bless you guys today.